In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the most feasible way to take your Amazon KDP business from $0 to $10,000 a month. Now, I should preface this all by saying that any print-on-demand business isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. And if you want to be successful, that means putting in the work. And that means doing market research, creating quality and well-designed books, and then keywording them correctly. And yes, that likely means that in order to see the results that you want, you're gonna have to show up every single day, likely for months, if not years on end. Believe me, I've been doing that for a decade at this point and putting in the hard work. But if you follow the steps in this video that I'm gonna cover today, you should start to see a very slow upward trajectory and be well on your way to meeting your $10,000 per month KDP goal. So if that sounds good to you, then stick around. And before we get into the video, if you could please do me a huge favor and like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more print on demand, finance, and general business content. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you never miss another money-making tip. Let's get right into it. So before we jump into the actual business strategy portion of this video, I wanted to talk about some hard truths that you might just have to come to accept if you want to be successful in the print-on-demand space. So number one, it takes money to make money. As a successful business owner, I know that almost every single business endeavor that I venture into is going to take a good chunk of cash to get me where I want that business to go. So I'm not saying obviously to go out and blow a bunch of money, but I'm saying that you need to be very strategic and honest about what you are spending your money on and what is going to most efficiently get you to where you want to be. And because of this, I'm very strategic about who and what I dedicate my time and money to. But I've come to realize that in order to be the very best at my job and to run my team the most efficiently, I often need to accept help when it's offered. I need to figure out how to implement strategies that will make my business more efficient over time. And I've come to accept that I'll probably need to pay for a few tools to help me do so. So within this business plan that I'm going to talk about today, there will be a few things that you will need to pay for. And again, if you're serious about growing your KDP business, you should consider investing money in these specific areas. Hard truth number two is it's going to take time. Now, when I made this YouTube channel, I decided that I was going to be very open and honest about all of my strategies for success. And that also includes talking about maybe things that didn't work. If you've been in the world of business for a while, I guarantee you have had a failure or two. And typically without experiencing any failure, you likely don't experience any growth. So if some of these strategies don't work for you and your business, that's totally fine. Implement something else, pivot, or just try to come up with your own approaches that you think might be unique to you and your own business. And I'm definitely not going to sit here and tell you that I hit all of these milestones by putting in 5 minutes a day. I feel like our attention span has dwindled thanks to Instagram Reels, thanks to TikTok. If it takes more than 30 seconds, people simply aren't interested. And the cold hard truth is that that is not the world of print on demand anymore. It used to be potentially a decade ago. But if you want to be a continually successful print on demand seller, you need to learn how to successfully navigate new challenges as they arise and understand how to set your business up for continued success in the future. And I'm definitely not going to be one of those YouTube channels that records a day in the life of a successful business owner where I'm out getting my hair and nails done, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing whatever I want, whenever I want. In all honesty, between my e-commerce businesses, my YouTube channel, and my real estate investment company, I spend probably at minimum 12 hours a day in front of my computer or on my phone, essentially putting out fires, dealing with problems as they arise, thinking about how I can expand each of those businesses, and working with independent contractors and employees to keep all of those businesses running smoothly. So again, it's not unusual for me to be putting in 60 to 80-hour work weeks in addition to just always being on call. I am always near my phone. I'm always getting notifications. You can reach me. If my tenants or my employees need me at any time of day, they all have my personal phone number. They can reach me on Skype. They all know how to get a hold of me. All of that to say, if you want to see a drastic change in your life, you have to be willing to put in the hard work, because at the end of the day, nobody else is going to do it for you. So if you're here for the hard days and the good days, then this video is for you. The third topic I wanted to mention here is that I'm going to share what's worked for me, my specific strategy, and also what hasn't. And finally, number 4 here. So the ultimate goal here is to build a 6 or 7 figure KDP business that can stand the test of time. And then a few other things that I wanted to take into consideration during our strategy brainstorming session here includes 1, times are changing. When I first started selling on these print-on-demand platforms back in 2017, you literally could have slapped up almost anything, and made a bunch of sales from it. And that is not how the business world works today. And in all honesty, these platforms are more saturated now than they have ever been. And we also have to contend with the fact that AI is now in existence. We have to compete with artificial intelligence, and that makes it even more difficult to stand out. And so we're seeing this shift in the marketplace away from putting up as many thousands of designs as you can to putting up really graphically high quality designs, or spending more time on book interiors, perhaps on things that maybe AI can't quite do yet, or even having entire books written. The second idea here is to invest and reinvest in yourself. Now, I have bootstrapped every single business that I've ever started, and I'll be really honest with you, it's been challenging at times, especially in the beginning when I didn't have as much money to invest in myself. But now, thanks to all of my hard work and years of consistency, I can afford to hire a virtual assistant to help me with all of these businesses. I can afford a video editor to help take a few things off of my YouTube plate. I can afford graphic designers to create designs for me. And overall, it makes me much more efficient at my job. So even if you do have a little bit of money set aside to invest in yourself, now granted, this should not be any emergency fund money. This should be extra money that you feel okay dedicating to your business, then I think that is the perfect place to do it and could potentially help you scale your business much faster. Because as you're going to very quickly find out, if you want to run any print-on-demand business successfully, there are tons of moving parts. So don't be afraid to pay and hire a writer on Upwork. Don't be afraid to hire an illustrator or someone to create a professional-looking book cover. Again, if you're serious about making this happen, invest where you most need it. In addition, I'll recommend a research tool that's quite minimally priced that I would say is an absolute necessity. I'm not wasting my time making books and blindly hoping that they'll sell. I don't have time for that, and neither do you. Now, I say this all up front because if you are looking for more of a side hustle that you can dedicate a few hours a week to, then that's totally fine if that works for you and your schedule. But I certainly wouldn't be setting any extravagant $5,000 or $10,000 per month goal based on that time commitment. But if you're ready to treat this like an actual business, you want to invest in yourself and your business, and you actually have the means to do so, then those numbers are definitely within reach. Now, again, if you're looking at this as more of a side hustle deal, I would say anywhere between 30 minutes and 2 hours per day is completely fine. But if you're hoping that this can eventually replace your full-time income and you want to make this your full-time job, it's going to take much more of a time commitment. So again, if you really don't have the time to dedicate to this right now, that's completely fine. Everybody has a time and a place and a phase. And if this isn't your phase to do this full-time right now, then that's totally fine. You can always work on that down the road when you do have time. But if now is your moment and you really want to make this work, I want to make expectations really clear. And my last talking point here about investing in yourself is that once you actually do start making money from your KDP account, it's not time to go shopping. It's time to reinvest in your business. Again, if your goal is to hit that $10,000 per month mark. And I say this because typically if you take that money, even if it's $100 or $200 a month, whatever you're making at that time, and you reinvest it back in the business, you're able to scale your business exponentially faster than if you don't reinvest anything in your business, and all of the money that you're investing in your business is coming straight out of your pocket. So typically, the more capital you have to invest or reinvest in this case in your business, the more return you're eventually going to see in your business. So again, don't be off-put by making $100 or $200 a month. Just take that money, reinvest it back into your KDP business, and you will thank yourself later. And my third and final point here is that you don't need to have any prior related skills. Take that from somebody who has 2 bachelor's degrees, 1 in psychology and 1 in nursing. And with those 2 completely unrelated degrees, I started a real estate investment firm that I now own and manage and run all on my own. I've sold more than $2.5 million in product through my print-on-demand businesses, and I now run a finance-focused YouTube channel. So don't think that whatever degree you do or don't have, or whatever skills you do or don't possess, pigeonhole you into not being able to run a print-on-demand company. Believe me that if you actually put in the time and the effort, you can do this too. So the first step of this introductory phase is education, education, and more education. So if you're new to the world of print on demand, you essentially don't know what you don't know, and that's completely fine. We've all been there. But if you want to succeed in this business, you need to very quickly figure out what to do and what not to do. And believe me, you'll learn that last part very quickly. So the first thing that I want you to focus on here is figuring out where your time is best spent. Is that on pricing, keywording, researching, design, or finding people to hire on Upwork? Now, I've hired tons and tons of people and probably spent well over $100,000 on the Upwork platform over years. And I've hired all different kinds of freelancers, from people to write books for me, to video editors, to graphic designers. The list truly is endless. But there is a specific way to learn how to use Upwork to try to find the best candidate. And I did make a video all about that, so I will link that up above. Make sure that you check that out before you hire any candidates. Now, the very first skill that I actually want to highlight here is doing keyword research. So this is essentially print on demand 101. Now, if you scroll through Amazon, you can tell exactly who knows how to do keyword research and who doesn't. There might be someone that's dedicated the last 10 years of their life writing a 500-page book about marmots. And while marmots are very cute, and I'm glad that they personally like them and are passionate about them, they'll probably be pretty crushed when they put that book up for sale on Amazon and realize that nobody wants to buy it. So people who end up being really successful in the print-on-demand space have come to find that they have to reverse that mindset completely, because you are not your target audience. So you're essentially doing market research to establish demand first, and then you're going to make products that meet that market demand. And this brings me to the market research tool that I mentioned earlier, and the very first investment that you should make in your KDP business, BookBolt. So I've been using BookBolt for years and years at this point, and they're a fantastic resource to not only do market research, but to also design your book right inside of the BookBolt studio itself. And then you can utilize it when keywording and uploading your book for sale. And again, I fully believe in this software. Like I said, I don't promote BS on this YouTube channel. That was a promise that I made to myself when I started this channel. So I truly use this product multiple times a week to help me manage and run my own KDP business. So again, if you're interested, they do have a free 3-day trial, and I do have a promo code with them. So my code is MMM20. You can use my code MMM20 to get 20% off any BookBolt subscription, or you can click on my affiliate link down in the description box below. So definitely check them out. And I also have plenty of other YouTube videos covering exactly how I use BookBolt, so make sure you check those out as well. So when it comes to book categories overall, that's broken down into 3 categories: low content, medium content, and high content books. I've personally spent quite a bit of money having high content books made, so I hire an actual writer on Upwork, someone with expertise in a specific field, and I have them write a data-focused book all about that topic for me, basically teaching someone else how to do the same thing. Now, each book typically costs me around $1,500 for writing, around $150 for an actual book cover. And then depending on the book, I either have to pay for the rights to images or pay an illustrator, which can cost me a few hundred more dollars. So like I said, obviously not cheap, but it's an investment in my own business. And since there's typically a higher barrier of entry here, there's typically less competition. And the nice part about these high content books is that I can price these books significantly higher than, let's say, a lower medium content book. So up to $20, $25 per book, because it's an actual educational, informative book. And all of my long form content books all have an associated audiobook, which is yet another form of income that I'll talk you through in just a few minutes. So now you might be wondering, how do you find categories for all of your high content books? And since BookBolt is used mainly for low and medium content books, I head over to Amazon and I do some good old fashioned research. So here I'll show you a video of all of the different book departments, book categories that you could potentially go into. So you'll just have to kind of do your own research, assess the demand in these categories, try to pick a category that's not too oversaturated that you think that you could actually rank in. Now, you've heard me harping on all these very niched down topics, so try to keep that in mind when you're trying to find your book topic. Now, back in the day when I first started doing this, I decided that I wanted to focus on kind of educational how-to type books. So that's been my focus. I'm not going to say my exact niches here in this video today, but you can use your imagination. And then I can basically go on Upwork and find somebody that does that specific thing for a living, and it's much easier for them to write an entire book for me. Now, I do have some truly low content books, and I've used some of the designs that, for example, I use on my Etsy stores or I use on my Amazon Merch on Demand account, and I just make that into a journal or into a planner very simply and put that up as a low content book. But my other main focus on my KDP account is on medium content books. So think word searches, word puzzle types of books. And I did this specifically because not very many people actually know how to make these books. And I can make these myself inside of BookBolt. And again, I've done an entire video showing you exactly how to make a word search using the BookBolt Studio. So I will link that above here. So you're probably noticing a theme here that the books that I put a lot of time and money into are unique things that would probably be challenging for other people to make. But again, if you just simply don't have the money to invest right now, that's completely fine. You can stick with your low content books. And to be frank, Book Bolt is not going to break anybody's bank. So you could still do your medium content, word search, word puzzle types of books there and focus on those in addition to some graph paper notebooks, some planners, maybe lined notebooks and journals in general. So again, first decide which of these 3 categories, high, medium, or low content books you'd like to go into. And then of course, do your market research to assess market demand within whatever category you choose. So as kind of general rules of thumb, I like to stick with books that have less than a 200,000 BSR, that have some competition, but not a ton so that it's easier for you to stand out, and where that competition already has reviews, but not so much, again, not like thousands and thousands of reviews that you won't be able to stand out as a new book in that space. So another thing that I think is quite important during this introductory phase to your KDP business and your KDP success is essentially surrounding yourself with people that know something about what you're doing. Now, there are so many YouTube gurus out there who have their own course. They want you to sign up. It's $1,000, it's $2,000. They want to give you a coaching session. Do I think that's really necessary as somebody who's been selling on KDP for years at this point? No. If you have the means and you really want to do that, fine. I've been successful and I've never paid for a course or a coaching session or anything like that. I have just figured it out on my own. So feel free to shoot me a message if you have any questions at all. I am more than happy to answer those for you. Maybe you have another KDP YouTuber that you really like and you watch, shoot them a message. It's not going to do any harm. Or maybe you have seen somebody else in the space that you really look up to. Try to get a hold of them to just bounce some ideas off of them. And of course, you can always reach out to a Facebook group or even post in a Reddit thread. There are so many other people doing KDP and doing it well without having to pay a coach or a guru or anything like that. That will give you the time of day and it kind of points you in the right direction and give you feedback as you go. And again, don't be afraid to reach out to other people that you see publicly on YouTube, on Facebook, any platform that you're comfortable using, because we've all been where you currently are now. And I found that if you kind of find the right corner of the internet in this print on demand space, there are a number of people, including my own YouTube channel, who want to try to help other people and build you up. And the final step in this introductory phase is again to invest and reinvest in yourself. So again, even at this point, if you're making $100, $200 per month, don't just throw that into your checking account and blow it all in one place. Take that money and actually reinvest it back into your business. And again, doing this will help you scale your business much more quickly. Now we're moving on to business approach. The first point here is determine whether you're going to focus on low, medium, or high content books and find a potential niche. Now again, this should be data driven. So whether you're using Book Bolt or any other tool that you'd like to use, or you're just doing some good old fashioned research on the Amazon platform, make sure that you actually are doing some type of research to determine market demand. So often before picking a book category, especially for my more high content books, I often ask myself, what problem is this book solving? So a good example of this could be a book about backyard chickens or homesteading or how to keep chickens. Because if you've been paying attention, there's currently some kind of an avian flu epidemic happening, and it's driving up the price of eggs. But also some states just put a law into effect saying that all eggs must come from a cage-free facility. So I'm going to go ahead and insert some pictures of egg prices from my own local grocery store. Now, this isn't any fancy grocery store. This is literally like our Kroger brand grocery store, and we're paying $11 or $12 per dozen eggs. So I'm betting a lot of people don't want to pay that, and they're probably looking to keep their own chickens to get eggs that way. Or another way to think about this is maybe you could think about making a book series. So maybe you partner with a personal trainer who actually has some credentials that you can include on your book cover as kind of a source of authority in the personal fitness space. And maybe your target audience is elderly people looking to get fit. And maybe you want to make a 3-book series all about elderly fitness. So your first book could focus on cardio. You could have a second book on strength training and a third book about core work. So again, think about how you could extend one book into potentially an entire series and maybe even gain a following. If people really love your initial book, they'll probably be more likely to come back and purchase your second, third, fourth, and fifth books. Step number 2, create multiple books and get them live. So don't be like that person who took 10 years or whatever it was to create a Marmot book. The faster that you get these books created and live, the sooner you're going to start making sales and building your business. So whether you're making low, medium, or high content books, create your book and get it out into the world for sale. Step number 3, create an ACX account. So if you choose to do long form content books, like I said that I do, again, go sign up for ACX immediately and start hiring producers on the ACX platform to essentially narrate your audiobooks for you. And I've had a lot of success because, again, there's kind of a high barrier of entry. Again, this is another investment in your business. Of course, you have to pay these producers to make these audio recordings for you. And I have found excellent, very high quality audio engineers and producers on the ACX platform. They make it so easy to hire someone directly through ACX. You literally send them the transcript for your book. They make the recordings, upload them to the ACX platform. ACX reviews that and approves them. And then your audiobook, again, is linked with your physical book so that it's on the same Amazon listing page and people can very easily toggle over to Amazon and, again, pay you for your book that way. Number 4 is to add A+ content to every single listing. So I will show you right here where A+ content should go. And let me tell you, such a small percentage of Amazon sellers actually take advantage of A+ content. So this is a good place to essentially showcase the interior of your book, because as a KDP seller, the general public will only be able to see your front cover and your back cover. They won't see any interior photos. So I like to show some interior photos of the book, make some banners, make them colorful and eye-catching, and I've noticed a dramatic increase in sales once I've got A+ content live on my listing. Step number 5 is run ads to increase visibility. I've been running ads for years. I do run my own Amazon ads, but I've taken the Amazon ads course and I feel very comfortable doing so. However, before I recommend anybody runs their own ads, I highly recommend that you all also take the Amazon advertising course, because Amazon ads are kind of a beast of their own, quite a learning curve, and you can spend a ton of money if you don't know what you're doing. But again, I do feel like Amazon ads have really helped me take my business to the next level, especially when I publish a new book live, because at that point I don't have any sales, I don't have a BSR, I don't have any reviews. And so running an advertisement to get more eyeballs on that listing generates sales much more quickly than waiting for an organic sale to happen would. Number 6, have realistic expectations with upfront costs. So you honestly might be cash flow negative for a little bit, especially during book production, but that's okay because we're essentially running a KDP marathon and not a KDP sprint. Like I said, the entire goal and the entire purpose of my approach to KDP business is to basically safeguard your business for the long run. And the final topic of this business approach section is to put your books up in multiple formats. So like I said, all of my long form content books especially are up in ebook form, audiobook form, paperback, and hardcover books because I don't want to leave any money on the table. Okay, and now I'm moving on to a future goals section. So each month, just like I've made videos about saying that on the first, when I'm paying employees, running all the numbers for all of my businesses, I take the time that very day to go back and reflect on all of my print-on-demand businesses, look at what is working, what isn't working, what has sold, what hasn't sold, how much exactly I'm spending on ads, and taking a look at my listings in general. So are my book covers optimized? Are the listings keyworded well, or do I think I could improve upon them? Or am I getting any feedback in the reviews about content or maybe formatting? Maybe the book isn't formatted quite right. So always trying to improve on the content that you're putting out, on your book formatting to make sure that it looks really professional before you publish it. Those are all things that are going to help your business. And over time, as your books are live longer, especially if you're running ads, they'll probably start getting more reviews. And with more reviews, they'll start making more organic sales. And once you've figured out this process, and what I mean by that is by listening to what the data is actually telling you, you can take that information and essentially rinse and repeat. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, print on demand and KDP businesses in general are not a get rich quick scheme. You have to put in the time and the effort, make really good, high quality products, and you may see that $5,000 to $10,000 per month number arise somewhere in the next 12 to 24 months. I would say that's a realistic timeline. You're building a legitimate business. And if you've ever built your own business before, you know that 1, it's very hard work. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. 2, it takes time, sometimes a lot of time, and that's okay. 3, it requires having systems in place to help you be successful. And 4, it requires constant reflection on how you can better the business, change your mindset, and improve your business overall. So that's my entire roadmap for helping you take your KDP business from $0 to $10,000 per month, all of which I have implemented in my own Amazon KDP business. I hope that all of my experience and knowledge in this area has been helpful. Like I said previously, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have, so feel free to leave those in the comments down below. Please do me a huge favor and like this video. If you want to see more content just like this, feel free to follow me on my social channels right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.